streaming. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. Hello everybody, my name is Jeremy Lapidus, host of the Triple Threat Show on WXJM 88.7 FM, Harrisonburg, Virginia, and WXJM.org. Also, live on the YouTube, as you can tell by me forgetting to start the stream really quickly, where you can go see our beautiful faces being me, Jeremy Lapidus, and joined, as always, by my two friends and co-hosts,
Shane Brisland
and you sound unsure about that. Is that really your name?
Wait, Harry. Yeah. Had to check the arm, wrote it down,
Of course.
Don't want to forget.
Of course. How's your guys' week been? You know, it's been a week.
It sure has, and it's been a pretty uneventful week, just your typical school grind, but this week should be more exciting because I have first two hockey games of the season coming up. First game, we have to drive to Maryland, and then we have a game in Haymarket after that.
Who is playing?
University of Maryland, and then I forgot who we were playing on Saturday. It's on the schedule somewhere, yeah, but it should be really fun. I'm excited to play with this new team.
Alright. What about you?
Yeah, we'll actually have a full roster. So that's great. And you can just take a break in between shifts instead of just playing the entire game and being completely exhausted. So I'm very much looking forward to that.
Gotta sell it for the team, Shane.
Oh yeah.
You have to play all positions at the same time.
Yeah.
Starting goaltender right here.
Starting goalie, both starting defensemen, the center and the left and right wing.
Bugs Bunny.
Yep, that's what you should call him. Bugs Bunny.
All positions. I got you covered.
He's got the resemblance too. You see the ears really stick up.
My fondness for carrots. And what's up, Doc? Anyway. What about you, Hayden? What's new with you?
I'm just here. Yeah, I don't know. Nothing's really happened. Like I said, it's a very uneventful week. It's kind of like settling in. So, I feel like the first week is always a little bit stressful and overwhelming. Even if it's just, it's like syllabus days.
Yeah.
But it's still, kind of stressful. You have all this time that you're now having to dedicate to classes. But, readjusted. Good to go now.
Good.
Living life.
I'm glad.
What about you, Johnny?
Me? It's been a week. Football's back. That's the most important thing. We're not going to talk about it. Sorry, guys. That's the only mention of football you're going to get this entire show.
Well, NFL football.
Unless you want to call us about it, we have a phone number that I keep forgetting to mention, but it's 540-568-6160. If you want to call us, Shane is proficient at hitting the phone button.
Oh, yeah.
I hope.
I hope so too. And it's also on the Triple Threat Show Instagram.
You put the phone number on there?
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
It's on the saved stories.
Oh, look at that. Speaking of, you can check us out on Instagram.
Yep.
Yeah, it's there.
Things put
some work in there.
half decent NHL analysis.
Yeah.
Preseason.
I would like
Check it
to
out.
say half decent job is better done than no job at all. So.
It's like being under complimenting you. It's all very good analysis.
I would think so too. I tried really hard.
You can tell.
Shane doesn't try at a lot of things.
Yeah, exactly. Especially hockey,
That's the thing he tries least at.
Exactly.
Triple Threat Show the nuts.
Of course. Number one priority over here.
In his life.
Yeah.
EC3 Triple Threat Show.
Of course.
I'll come home and he's taking notes on the Xbox.
Every day.
Every day.
Never off the grind.
Never.
That's Shane Brisland over there.
Yeah. You guys just want to talk sports or are you just
Oh no, I'd love to talk sports. So, I said we weren't gonna talk football, but I lied. You know what?
I was going to talk college football, just not national football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna do.
Okay.
Do you want to start?
Well, you see, now there's this one team that plays in the Sun Belt. Not sure if you've heard of them.
Which one of them?
Appalachian State.
Never heard of them.
they did pretty good, from what I heard.
Oh, they did really good.
Yeah.
Appalachian State, Sun Belt Conference member. They beat Texas A&M 17-14. Texas A&M, for those who don't know, SEC team. That's like the conference in football. Also, number 6 ranked team in the entire nation. So slight work, of course, but that wasn't the only Sun Belt victory of the week, of the day. We also had a team called Marshall. They marched into Notre Dame. They went up to the Fighting Irish and they said,
Good night.
goodbye. Good night, goodbye. That's what they said to them. And they won. They walked out of Indiana with after taking out the number 8 team in the nation in Notre Dame, and caused Notre Dame to fall all the way out of the top 25.
I mean, yeah.
It's the first the Notre Dame coach to ever lose their first 3 games, ever, in Notre Dame history, and I'm pretty sure that's a pretty long history. But there's another team in the Sun Belt that also did something pretty crazy, and that would be Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern beat Nebraska. Nebraska, coming into the season, was supposed to be really, really good. And then they lost to Northwestern in week 0. And then they lost week 2 to Georgia Southern. And then they subsequently fired their head coach, Scott Frost. Now, the reason I mention this is because after Scott Frost was fired, I don't know if you've seen this video, but he got like a $15 million payout, because he signed a big contract with them.
Mm-hmm.
And he slid down the railing of the stairs out of the building. Okay, so picture this. It's a small white man. Glasses. He's got the little shoulder sling bag, Yeah, practically, actually. He's blonde, though. That's the difference.
Okay, so blonde Jeremy.
And not curly hair.
Straight hair Jeremy.
Yeah. So
Blonde.
he's wearing Nebraska red, right? And he just slides down. Yeah, Shane's pulling it up right now. He just gets out of there, gets out of the field, and it's like a big amount of stairs, right? And there's the railing, but it doesn't have like the anti-skater protections on them. Those little bumpy things that go on stairs? Doesn't have it. So he just sits his butt on top of it, and he goes down the stairs. Excellent fashion, top tier. Honestly, it was a top tier slide.
Sorry, I forgot I was here.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I have that effect on people.
Yeah. You did a great job, Jeremy.
Thank you. But I thought that was fun. If Nebraska had waited 3 weeks, they wouldn't have had to pay him $15 million. So, a bit early. I would have waited a second. But
if I was Scott Frost, I'd be pretty happy with $15 million payout and not having to work the rest of the season.
It's his alma mater. He wanted to make him win. He didn't do that.
$15 million is $15 million, though.
I don't disagree with you, Shane. For once.
For once, yeah. I'd be surprised if you disagreed with that. I'm like, get fired from being a head coach and get $15 million, or not getting $15 million.
It's a toughie.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. I don't know.
Another Sunbelt
team
did a thing.
Yeah, it's always been Sunbelt season.
Yeah.
And we didn't even mention the most important Sunbelt team, and that is that of the James Madison University Dukes, who beat the brakes off of Norfolk State so bad that they had to shorten the fourth quarter.
That's
Now-
that a little bit.
Now, in my extensive research of football games, college football games, I could find no other examples of a game at the beginning of the fourth quarter being shortened because a team was being so thoroughly beat down on.
How about for rain, though?
Nope, not the rain. It was definitely because they were being so thoroughly beat down.
The rain wasn't even that bad.
No, like I was watching the game.
Have you seen what the Bears played through? Like, this was nothing.
I know it wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't. That's the excuse they might have given, but no, that wasn't why. JMU played the entire second half with their second stringers. Sorry, not the second half, just the third quarter, and they put up like another 20-something points. And then they scored another touchdown with their third stringers in the shortened fourth quarter. Which, by the way, real quick, I just want to throw something out there. The JMU second string quarterback looked really, really good. He looked really, really good. Like, I'm not going to say Heisman Trophy winner next season based on this one performance. Like, I know Shane would, because Shane's a believer in this man. But it's slander. What slander? You said it to me. You said it on the record.
I did not say such things.
You said it on the record.
I was saying it's against Norfolk State. I wouldn't put too much weight on it.
No. I'm pretty sure you said it's against Norfolk State.
I said no such
He's
things.
going to win the Heisman Trophy next year.
I said no such things. Jeremy is coming up with false beliefs.
What year is he?
I think he's a freshman. Okay. And our current guy, Todd Centennial, it was his birthday on Saturday too. Centeo, yeah. It was his birthday on Saturday too, so he got a nice little birthday win. It was he's a grad student, so this is like his last year of eligibility, I believe. Yeah. So we've got
I did not know he was a grad student.
Yeah, no, he's a grad student. He transferred here from Colorado State. He's on his last year of eligibility.
Back-to-back years.
Did they game too? A big upset.
Who?
Colorado State. Didn't they have a upset? Or who might have
Washington State?
I don't know.
Washington State beat Wisconsin.
Maybe.
I don't know who Colorado State played.
We might have brought up Colorado.
We were talking about Colorado State when we were looking back at like Marshall and App State.
Maybe.
They lost like 51-3 or something like that.
Yeah.
Wasn't good. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. It was a really good game to be at JMU. They brought out their prospects. They brought all the potential signees for the team to this game. So they picked a good game to bring all the potential future Dukes to 63-7. So all I'm saying.
They have to watch all of their teammates play.
See, you'll get playtime if you face Norfolk State.
Look. All I'm saying, and take this as gospel and fact, is that James Madison University is the only FCS program in the entire history of FCS programs to currently be undefeated overall. And that is all I'm going to say. Now, you can take from that what you want. But I'm going to say, Alabama, watch out.
We win next week. And then Alabama.
We've got a week off, actually.
I'm saying like the next.
Yeah, and then we go to App State.
That should be a good game.
It's their blackout game, and they sold out like weeks in advance. So we're just gonna stroll in there, casually put an 80 spot on them. No, App State's a very good team, and I'm a little worried about that game. And then we have Marshall for homecoming, so.
It'll be a good game to see where JMU stands in this conference.
Yeah. No, it'll be.
Because after 2 blowouts, it's like, all right, let's see some actual conference.
No, this is the 2 weeks from now. That is the foot in the water game. Show us what you really got, because App State is a real good program. So we'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see. I'm just predicting JMUW. Maybe not by 70, but a win nonetheless. Do you have more?
No.
That's all I got.
All right, Hayden, I have a question for you.
Nice for you.
You heard about some baseball rules.
Yeah, there's
Some new rule changes in baseball.
Yeah, it was approved by the MLB Rules Board, getting into kind of a good part in the new CBA. And there were 3 measures that passed. One was unanimous. That would be that the bases are going to be increasing from 15 square inches to 18 square inches. So a bit of a difference. It's going to improve player safety and kind of just make it so stolen bases and injured hits are more common. Create more excitement in the game.
You won't see as many foot being stepped on at first base.
That's
That's the big deal. That's the big deal.
I think some people very much would rather have had the second base to kind of have a slow pitch softball. I don't know how much you've seen that, where there's like first base, and then on next to it, away like into the foul territory, there's another base attached to it.
Yes.
Runs into. That's what people would rather have had than people like seeing on the internet. That was probably the least controversial change that they made. Especially again, the only unanimous change. The other 2, all of the player reps voted no against them, and then obviously they were overruled. First being the pitch clock and other rules coming off of that, and then they banned the shift. So yeah.
So from your little hand slap on your knee and your tone, I'm sensing you don't like the ban with the shift.
No, I'm not a fan.
Not a fan.
Some might say.
Why is that?
I mean, there's a lot of reasons. And I think one of the ones that I always go back to is that there's a very specific subgroup of players who benefit from the shift. Or not benefit, but would benefit from banning the shift or restricting it. So not really ban or restrict it. Restricting the shift. And that is left-handed hitters who pull the ball away. And now you're removing this, and you're kind of reducing the value of the players who will hit the all fields. Maybe not for as much power as I'm saying the guys up the list who shifted against the most. Like a Corey Seager, a Yordan Alvarez. Like big lefty sluggers. They might not hit for as much power as them, but Trey Turner hits. I think he's one of the few players who's shifted against the least. Someone like Nicky Lopez, Whit Merrifield. There's all these players who their value is now going to decrease because these left-hand sluggers are going to be able to get more hits because they're not going to have the balls get hit into the shift.
Makes sense. Now, the argument that the MLB is making here, obviously, is offense good, make people want to watch because more points equal more excitement. Mm-hmm. And I disagree. Okay, my favorite baseball games are pitchers' duels. Mm-hmm. I love going to games where you see both starters go like 8-9 innings. It's so much fun. I love watching pitchers when they're at their best because it's such a hard position to do, almost perfectly. Right? Because you make one mistake out of 110, and your night is like completely the opposite of what it would have been. Mm-hmm. And it's just so much fun to watch pitchers' duels. Not that this is really gonna affect it all that much, but it's gonna make it harder on defenses. Less no-hitters, less perfect games. Not that they're abundant anyway.
No, I just think, it's one, and also, you're not having, trying to collect my thoughts, pitchers, who are kind of your ground ball guys who are not striking out a lot of guys. You know, someone who you might think of nowadays is like Zach Greinke, Hyun-Jin Ryu, another loyal Brad Keller. These are kind of guys who, you know, they're not going to blow the ball past you. They're going to just make you get weak contact on the ground. And, you know, now that's their values kind of lessened because now that the shift is taken away and you're getting fewer outs on ground balls, you want to strike them out more. That is now the most effective way to get people out. I mean, it always was, but there's more of an emphasis now put on high stuff arms, in my opinion. Which, you know, another thing that, you know, I don't think is great for the game. You know, I think that's kind of the beauty of baseball is there's so many different ways to be an effective Major League Baseball player, you know? You can just get all those ground balls and be a top pitcher in the league, you know? You can just hit for, you know, crazy high average, you know, not for crazy kind of power, but you hit for high average and still, sure, you're not the most elite player because the most elite hitter will do hit for average and hit for power, but, you know, you're still a good everyday regular. It's like you're kind of taking the one adaptation that pitchers took to kind of counteract this whole hit for power and elevate from lefties, you know?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Let me play devil's advocate here real quick. Okay? What you're going to see is so the thing about it that I've seen being complained from old heads, right?
Uh-huh.
No one hits above 300 anymore, right? Like, you know, 300 was always, like, super, super good, but you'd see, like, what, 10, 12 guys hitting above 300, something like that? And nowadays you see 1, 2, right? On the season? And, you know, the MLB, what they want is they want more offense. They not necessarily they don't necessarily need home runs, but I mean, you listed off a bunch of guys who get shifted against a bunch, and you see it. You know, you see it off the bat. You're like, oh, this is totally going to get through, and then there's just a guy standing there, right? And a lot of people, a lot of more casual fans, I'm sure Shane will agree with this, would like a baseball game more if that was a single instead of an out.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Well, it's because from a marketing perspective, like you said, it's getting harder to gain a new audience for baseball, and the audience is going to be more attracted to a higher scoring game. But I know some of the more experienced baseball fans like those pitcher battles. But to a new fan, what's going to be more appealing is these high scoring back and forth games, which are just going to be more entertaining for the average sports fan.
And I think there's ways of doing that rather than banning shit. I think it's a Band-Aid solution. I think, if anything, you're further encouraging this whole 3-2 outcome approach. You know, you're going to be fine to strike out if you can pull the ball down the line and you hit a home run. You know? Or you just pull down the line and get a double. Or you can do that more. And I think that's the opposite of the direction that baseball needs to go.
If you want to call in with your thoughts about this, you can call the station 540-568-6160. That was 540-568-6160. Sorry, I totally forgot what I was going to say. But I remember now. Okay. So the other rule, you mentioned it, pitch clock.
Yeah.
I find this one so much worse. You went over the shift. You clearly have a stronger reaction to that one. I think the pitch clock is what's going to make it harder, I guess. So the pitch clock is there obviously to reduce the game time. You want as little as possible. They want a shorter game, so again, you can attract more fans with a shorter attention span to stay and enjoy the game. You know, they've tried it in the past with 7-inning doubleheader games, right? That too, but they still did that. And they've tried. they've tested out a bunch of other rules in the minors, and I know they tested this out in the minors. I don't know how much it affected it,
A lot.
but I can,
A lot.
but I
The
can,
reason why this is implemented so quickly.
I can imagine a thing where the pitcher who, wants to shake off a sign, the catcher's giving him a sign, he doesn't want that pitch, he wants another one. It takes 3 or 4 signs to get to where he wants, and by the time he gets to the pitch and the location that he wants, pitch clock is done. He has to either rush the pitch and it's not accurate, or he doesn't get to throw the pitch that he wants. And that's not going to be an outcome that's just going to be worse for everything. It's going to be...
I think you're going to see, right now, you're kind of seeing an emphasis on the defensive catchers. You saw the Yankees trade for Jose Trevino last season. Look at his numbers now, it's looking like a great deal for them. And I think the impact that having a great catcher and someone who great game calling is just going to be even more important. I think that's all that's really going to do. I don't think the whole pitch clock and the whole shaking out signs, I don't think that's going to be the issue that we have.
It's a scenario I see happening. That's not the main issue. The main issue is, when you're pitching, you get into a rhythm, right? You have a certain rhythm. You have to do X, Y, Z before you throw the pitch. You have to do you have to do 3 taps of your foot or whatever, whatever each person has to do. And sometimes those take a little bit of time, I don't know when the pitch clock starts. Does it start the second the pitcher gets the ball back? Does it start the second the strike or ball call is made by the umpire?
I think it's when they get the ball back.
So when they get the ball back. And you said what? It was 15 seconds?
When there's no runners on base, 20 seconds when there are runners on base.
Right. So...
And I think that 20 second restarts when there's a engagement. If he tries to throw to pick off the liner, that pitch clock resets.
Okay, but it's not like if that motion has to be cut short. Again, it goes back to a sloppy pitch, sloppy play, might result in whatever happening. But I think the first month of the season, maybe that's too long, but
Spring training will be fine.
Right, spring training. I forgot about spring training. It's just, I feel like it's gonna affect more than we're seeing right now. Than what you. I don't like rushing pitchers. I feel like that's gonna be an issue.
So are they gonna give him a base if you run out the pitcher clock?
Free ball. So there's
the ball, yeah.
It's an automatic ball.
Okay.
Pitcher is one.
Also, when does it start? Does it start when he starts his windup, or does it start when he releases the ball?
I believe it's when he starts his windup.
Okay.
Because obviously some people have windups, stuff like that. Once you start your motion, I believe it's when you pitch clock ends. Now the thing is, batters have 8 seconds to get each of the batters. It's an automatic. Right. And I think that is the thing that you're going to see actually have more an effect, and that one's going to be tough. Because I think someone who
8 seconds?
It's half the clock.
It's half the clock. So they have time. They need to get into the box.
Right. It's the same thing. Like I talked about pitchers having to do a certain thing before the mound.
And you're going to see it way worse for batters.
Batters. It's every single batter has a thing they have to do. Not every pitcher has a thing they have to do, but every single batter has a thing they have to do.
Every pitcher has a thing they have to do. It's just how grand it is. It's different. Yeah. There are very few pitchers who take more than 15 seconds. I think I can name 1 or 2 who they're the ones who take a while. The one that they always talk about is pitcher bias. He took 30 seconds in between pitches during one of his outings. This was years and years ago. Players like Juan Soto, you've watched a lot of Juan Soto. He takes a while.
Yes.
That's part of his thing. That's part of why he's so good. Is he's I think I saw on Twitter, He said it. He sees like his own miniature like human lane delay, where he just irritates the pitcher by taking so long and kind of making them kind of wait to get back in the box. You know.
Yeah.
And that's where I think we're gonna see more of this, where you're gonna see a little bit of a bigger adjustment period for the hitters to adjust to this new rule, and then you're gonna realize, oh, I need to get in the box, or else I'm gonna be down 0-1, or I'm gonna be down 0-2. And I think they also cut down our walk-up songs, so it's really,
Doesn't matter that much.
that's honestly I think the worst part.
Really? Why is that?
Is it because it's unnecessary?
Yeah. I walk-up song. I don't know. I don't mind waiting a little bit longer in between at-bats,
Right. It's, I don't know. It's just one of those things. I feel like it's gonna be an adjustment, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't like it. call me an old head. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I think it's just gonna ruin something.
I think the thing where it's gonna matter most is when it's late in the game.
Right, those big pressure moments when you want to take a deep breath. You're like
that's where it's gonna
on the mound and you want to.
I'm sure within the first week they're gonna see something that's gonna impact the game.
Something about it gives me the kind of feeling, and I don't know what it's gonna affect. That's gonna make me go, oh my god, I hate that so much. But I know it's gonna be something, right? And maybe I'm overreacting. Like, I understand the issue with the shift, but it doesn't give me the same feeling of ickiness that this pitch clock, batter clock does, And I don't have any hard evidence to back up what this is, because I didn't follow the rule in the minor leagues, right? I probably should have done some research on how it affected minor league stats before we talked about it.
The pitch clock is inconsequential. It's just going to take a while for it to
Just, I don't know, something about it bothers me, and I know within a year it'll be normal, but just something just.
It feels inevitable that there's going to be a very controversial, impactful play.
That's what I'm saying. In the first week, someone's gonna get a walk-off walk, or someone's gonna strike out to end the game.
Yeah, like bottom of the ninth, and they take it like an extra second too long, and
that classic scenario: bottom 9, 2 outs, 3-2 count. One of them's gonna take too long.
Yeah,
something's gonna happen, and I know it'll be fixed. But it's just one of those things that just bothers me somewhere in my core, And I can't really explain it more than that. It's just, ugh. And there's rules like that. There's rules like that in every league. But, I don't know. This just feels so major. Such a major change. That's just me, though.
I have one more quick thought.
Go for it.
Great hitters are going to be great hitters, and they're going to overcome those challenges, right? So I just want to list off the top 10 hitters in pitches percentage of pitches that they've seen with a shift classified by StatCast against, like, while that pitch is thrown, the infield is shifting,
Yeah.
With at least 1,000 pitches, because when I was doing this, there was a guy who had seen 100% of his pitches, but he only seen 3 pitches. And so I'm trying to get rid of the smaller sample size, have people who've been in the show for most of the year, and let's go through this list a little bit. Let's see if you guys recognize any names. Cole Calhoun leads the charge. Then we have Corey Seager, Ruben Odor.
Really?
At number 3, yep. Kyle was a lefty, who hits the power. Kyle Tucker, Cody Bellinger, Max Kepler, Jordan Alvarez, Max Muncy, Kyle Schwarber, and then Shohei Ohtani.
See, I was expecting Kyle Schwarber to be all the way up there. because I remember the most ridiculous shift I've ever seen against this man when he was still on the Nats.
He's tied with Max Muncy at 88.2% of pitches that he's seen have been facing the shift. By the way, he also has a 346 Robo, which is well above average. I would have given you the OPS, but Savant doesn't let me use OPS for this.
No, there was... They made 4 outfielders, and they had 2 right fielders.
Mm-hmm.
It was ridiculous. But, that's just how it is. I don't know. Like, I understand reducing the shift a little bit, so it's not as drastic as that. But, I mean, making it so... What was the rule stated? It was like 2 infielders on either side of second base with their feet on the infield dirt. Was that what it stated?
Pretty much. That's the simplest way of putting it.
I don't know.
I
don't mind the 3 on one side of the infield.
Here's the thing, though. Like, any good shortstop is going to get onto the other side of second base. Before, after the pitch is thrown, or it's before the windup, something like that, Any good infielder is going to get onto the other side of second base to where they would need to be on a regular shift. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, this isn't going to change anything, really. Yeah? Nothing's going to change?
I don't know.
I don't think anything's
Okay. So why are you so opposed to it, then?
Because I don't like putting that kind of limitation. It's because again, it goes back to the first thing I said, where it's only benefiting if it has the effects that the MLB wants. It only benefits a singular party, and because it benefits that singular party so much, it hurts the rest of the league, and that's not fair. That's not how you design rules. You don't design rules to make the rich get richer, because
to define the
we're
minority
reading this
of
list,
players,
right? We're talking about Corey Seager, who this time last year was considered a top 3 shortstop in the league. Cody Bellinger, who's won an MVP. Kyle Tucker, who's one of the most underrated outfielders in baseball. Yordan Alvarez, who's the best field hitter in baseball. Sorry, Juan Soto. Yordan Alvarez is better than him. Max Muncy, who is having it down here, but he's pretty good. Kyle Schwarber, again, he just hits the cover off the ball. And then Shohei Ohtani, who is Babe Ruth. It only benefits these guys even more.
That's what baseball wants.
They want their star players.
They want their stars to be stars,
Yeah.
and they want to raise the offense of everyone else. But they want most importantly, they want their stars to be stars. That way they can market them. Not that they do a good job of marketing them, but if they ever decided to start marketing guys like Shohei Ohtani,
Yeah.
that would be pretty cool.
This is sounding very similar to the NHL right now.
By the way, just anecdote, some of the facts. The guy he's seen at least 1,000 pitches, he's seen the fewest pitches that he shift against him. He's seen 1 pitch. And he's had 1 pitch in his 2022 pitches. And that is Miles Straw.
Okay.
So 1 pitch out of 2022. He has the lowest pitch percentage.
Right.
Shifted fielders, all that. That is just my little fun.
It's a fun fact. Yeah. Pickoff rule? Big deal? Not a big deal? No? Okay. Didn't think so.
I think stolen base is already down, and I think that's going to change drastically.
Yeah.
This isn't, Ricky Henderson isn't alive anymore, so stolen base is over. He's still alive, but he's not in the league anymore.
That was a bold statement. What do you know that we don't know?
Ricky Henderson isn't in the league anymore, so stolen bases are already dismantled.
Someone go check on Ricky Henderson real quick. I'm not sure when, but I think Hayden might have flown all the way out to California.
Maybe in the same place as the Queen right now.
before you joined in Scotland. Really strange.
No comment.
Okay.
Pretty uneventful week, huh?
Yeah, very uneventful. I was in Scotland for no particular reason.
What part again?
The Scottish part.
Yeah, that part. What he said. Nowhere near where the Queen is. For sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's on the record, too.
Yeah.
You want to talk about some hockey, Shane?
Oh, yeah. So, let's start. We got a lot of news with the Canadian teams. There were a few re-signings. So Kirby Dock was a former 3rd overall pick. He was traded in this previous draft for some draft picks. He signed a 4-year average annual value of $3.36 million a season. It's a very meh contract because he's kind of like a young, unproven guy he's got all the tools, just hasn't really got it together at the professional level yet.
Professional or NHL?
NHL level, yeah, because he's pretty much been on the NHL roster for the Blackhawks. It's just he hasn't lived up to his potential, and the Blackhawks just traded him away. They've given up on that. Mm-hmm. And I've heard rumors of like work ethic issues, but again, those are rumors, so I'm not going to put too much weight into that. But it's kind of like it's a low enough contract where if they need to get rid of it, they can. And if he turns into the player that he thinks he is, very good deal.
Oh, sure.
And then the Montreal Canadiens named their newest captain, Nick Suzuki. He's a young center. So congratulations to him. You're joining a very good legacy of Montreal Captains. Shea Weber was the previous captain. Unfortunately, his career is pretty much over due to injuries. A lot of people thought it was going to be Brendan Gallagher, who was a veteran, has been on the team for a while.
You didn't want to use the word summation?
A summation of injury.
You didn't want to test that one out in the sentence?
Nah, it just doesn't sound right.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Shane was sitting there in the kitchen and was like, "Hey."
I know, I heard this. Oh. My bad.
What's in a word for an accumulation of injuries?
You nailed
Accumulated. There's that's probably what I was looking for.
Acclimated.
Yeah, so it's like
abundance.
Isn't that
adjacent?
Parallel. Photosynthesize.
He had a photosynthesis
Concentric
of injury.
circle.
Where are we even going anymore? I don't know. Anyway, so I like where they went with this signing. They went with the young guy who could probably be their captain for a while instead of the veteran who's probably only a few more seasons left before he either retires or maybe chooses to go to free agency too.
Does captain come with a pay bump?
Probably get a few bonuses in there. He already signed a massive extension.
He did.
Yeah,
He did do that.
And then another young player who signed a massive extension is Tim Stutzel of the Ottawa Senators.
Who is that man?
He was a 3rd overall pick He was another 3rd overall pick in one of the most recent drafts.
Okay,
Yeah. He got an 8-year, 8.35 average annual value.
Shane, how much is that total? Quick, go.
65 something or other.
It sounds wrong.
It's close because 8 times 8 is 64 and 0.35. Yeah, it's somewhere between $65 and $70 million.
What has he done at the NHL level?
Does he deserve it?
Not yet.
Bad contract. Bad contract. Fire the GM. Fire the president.
For now. So this contract doesn't go into effect till next season.
Is there a terminate the contract clause?
Well, there's always the buyout option.
Use it.
No.
Hit the big red button.
No, please, because then you just lose all that salary cap for nothing.
Meh.
Or I don't know, because
who needs it anyway?
It depends on.
It's Ottawa.
Yeah. So
it keeps him at the floor.
you got a point there. So he had 58 points last season.
Uh-huh.
So like the market value for that's probably around like closer to $6 million.
They gave him 70? That's way too much.
Jeremy, be quiet. We're trying to have adult conversations here.
Me too.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
Sorry.
Economics.
Finances.
So the average annual value, that's more like around like the $6 million or something range is what he's valued at right now, because he hasn't really had that dominant breakout season you expect from your top of the line center. Because at least Jack Hughes has put up close to a point per game pace, even though he's been hampered by injuries. You saw the potential there. Tim Stutzel hasn't really had that kind of season, hasn't had that stretch of games where he's looked like that. And he's very much an overhyped player in my opinion, because you know those Canadian fan bases, they tend to, it's like the Dallas Cowboys where they just like, they're so overhyped. You're like, all right, let's calm it down a bit. Let's just see what happens first.
You want to try again?
QB of all time.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me think about the number of quarterbacks you've called the cutest of all time real quick.
Matt Stafford.
No, he's the
Derek-
hottest of all time.
Derek
Okay.
Carr.
Derek Carr.
Second hottest of all time.
I
Joe
think
Burrow. I think he
yeah,
said something about
Joe Burrow was definitely in there. I'm pretty sure he said something about Jimmy
Who's the
Garoppolo
next
too.
Oh yeah.
Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm pretty sure he said something about that.
And then they have called both those the hands.
Definitely he said something about Joe Flacco.
Never said a word about Joe Flacco.
He definitely said something about Joe Flacco.
Keep that name out of your mouth, alright? How do you hear about Joe Flacco from you?
Who else? I think that's it.
Yeah.
That's 6 now.
What can I say? I have a type. When I play the ball real good. That's my type.
We're going back to hockey. In summary, it's just.
Oh, Russell Wilson too.
Probably. He used to play in Seattle, you know?
Oh,
He had to hit
yeah,
the
yeah,
entire
yeah,
NFC
yeah,
North,
yeah.
you know.
All right. Trying to stay on track with hockey here. So it's pretty much just wait and see. If he has that breakout season, great. He's still young enough where he could still like earn that contract. And this is like a recent trend where they're kind of paying the players before they have that breakout season. So it's kind of just a wait and see at this point.
Because, I mean, you're saving money when you do that, right?
Yeah, because like you could really save a ton of money if you.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing we're seeing in the MLB, you know? And we're kind of seeing it kind of...
It happens. It's happening in every league.
Yeah.
You pay him what the top salary is now. You pay him for quarterbacks. You pay him $30 million a year or $50 million a year now. 5 years from now, that's going to be a huge discount.
Yeah.
You know.
Lock him up for 85 years, you're set.
And Ottawa's been having issues keeping players too. So having a guy locked up long term, that young, and if he turns into a star, it's really good.
8 years?
8 years, yeah.
How old is he again?
He's 22?
Oh,
21?
all right, good for him.
Yeah.
35.
I would disagree with you,
He's 35.
but I won't.
A chance that he's 35 years old.
And then we have this one.
Hayden, we're trying to have
Under
adult conversations here.
And then we have this one under.
Jay, we're trying to have a conversation. Sorry, go on.
So we have this one under the radar signing, which is Evan Rodriguez to the Colorado Avalanche.
His brother?
What?
Congratulations, Evan. Happy birthday, Kyle.
Oh yeah. It is Kyle's birthday. Happy birthday, Kyle.
Make him call.
Alright, I'm gonna dox you right now, Kyle, if you don't call us.
He's not listening to the show.
Kyle lives that.
Stop. Alright. But why is this, why do you think,
Because he played really well for the Pittsburgh Penguins last year. Because Pittsburgh, at the beginning of the season, everyone was injured.
Yep.
He was the first line center at one point. And they still did decent, which is far better than anyone expected at that point. And then, of course, he started to produce less as people got healthier. And
he's just getting less ice time.
And just getting less ice time. So having him for as a depth forward, he could potentially play on that second line. So I think this is a really low risk, high reward move by Colorado, and I think that could work really well.
How much did you give him?
1-year contract at $2 million.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. That's a really good depth piece that I wanted to throw out there, because I thought he would have gotten signed soon. And then I texted you guys in the group chat about I'm trying to come up with my NHL playoff predictions right now.
Already?
Yeah, well, just so I have an idea of when we eventually cover that for the show, that I'm prepared. And one of the teams I had a hard time trying to figure out what they are is the St. Louis Blues. Because I know they had a really good season last year, but they kind of had some key departures in the offseason. And I was just looking at their stats last season, and I did not expect them to be they were in the bottom half of the league in expected goal differential, which is, expected goals for minus expected goals against, and they finished bottom half in the league in 5-on-5 play.
So they're just lucky.
So pretty much they got super lucky last season. They were outshot by their opponents most of the time, but the caveat to that was that they had the best special teams. So they had a top 5 power play and a top 5 penalty kill. And so you average about 10 minutes of special teams time a game. And so if you're doing really well in both of those categories, that helps kind of make up for that lack of 5-on-5 production. But when you're losing one of your best power play point guys in David Perron, he left in free agency. And then Ville Husso was the starting goaltender for most of that year, because Jordan Binnington was playing horrible and then got injured, and then Ville Husso took his job. Ville Husso also left in free agency. So now you have Jordan Binnington coming off an injury and a down year, and you're already not great 5-on-5, and who knows what your special teams are going to do. St. Louis has a really good coaching staff. They have a really good forward core. I just don't know. Again, if you don't have goaltending, you're just going to... doesn't matter how good your team is. If you don't have a good goaltender, you're not making a par in the NHL.
Preach. I agree, Shane.
Yeah. So I am not high on Jordan Binnington. It's just, he had that spectacular cup run, but he just hasn't lived up to that I've seen so far, especially in the regular season, ever since that. And their defense looks pretty weak to me. So I feel like this is a team that it wouldn't surprise me if they didn't do well next season.
I mean, everything's kind of laid out. It just seems like they've lost their core pieces, I mean, it's not like the core, but,
it's just starting
it's
goaltender.
The glue pieces.
Yeah.
Kind of losing the glue a little bit, and once that glue kind of falls off, you kind of just fall apart,
Yeah.
Like, that's just what it sounds like from what you said.
Yeah. But it's just they still have Ryan O'Reilly, who's a great two-way. Their forward core is still really
I was going to say, they still have
Tarasenko.
And they've got all those old guys. Not that they're still in their prime, but...
Ryan O'Reilly, Jordan Kyrou had a breakout
year. He did. He won the fastest skater competition.
And then they signed, his name is Robert Thomas, to a massive extension.
It's a name.
Yeah, because it's the same name as that singer.
It is?
You know,
with Tom Brady?
Never mind.
I don't know who you're talking about. Sounds like a country singer, though. Is it a country singer?
Have you heard of the band Matchbox 20?
Yes.
Yeah, he's the lead singer.
So decidedly not country, then.
I haven't heard of that, so... Is it like the music that I was playing before this?
I hope not.
Hayden, would you like to give a rendition?
After this, yeah.
Okay.
And so another team that surprised me. So just a few more notes. Another team that was on top of the high goal differential list was the New York Rangers. But of course, when you have the best goalie in the league carrying you night after night, you kind of expect that kind of outcome. And one of the unluckiest teams last season was the Los Angeles Kings. And they still made the playoffs. So just imagine they only got better with the acquisition of Kevin Fiala.
Sounds like hockey should reduce the number of teams in the playoffs. I'm kidding. That'd be a really bad idea.
I think that's a good idea.
It'd take the fun out of it, though. The 8 seeds wouldn't. Actually, you know what? I like it idea.
All I'm saying
Doesn't
is,
hockey have the most successful 8 seeds?
listen, all I'm going to
Yeah.
say is if you just win the division, you don't deserve to win the cup.
Look, all I'm saying is we should go back to the college football bowl system, where only 2 teams make the playoffs, and they have 1 game to fight for the Stanley Cup.
4. 4 teams. Each, division.
So 8 teams? No, 4 teams.
4 teams.
4 teams.
4 team playoffs.
Sounds awful, actually.
That sounds, it's not as exciting.
I think everyone should go to a March Madness style.
Okay, so here's what we're doing, right? So the winners of the divisions, right? So best record is the number 1 seed. It's a 1-game series. So the team with the worst record is the bottom seed. And so then they play the second worst record in the East. And then they play, and they just work their way up. It's like the gauntlet, and you gotta run the gauntlet. And then there's just, you gotta beat every team and climb up the ladder, and then,
Sure.
We fixed hockey.
We
Yeah.
fixed it. You're like-
Even better, yeah.
I'm just saying, would you not win if after 3 games, the team with the worst record is still in it, and they're about to take on a half decent team,
See, I think.
That's kind of the Montreal Canadiens, though, 2 years ago.
See, I think we should keep playoffs the way they are, except add Hayden's system. So the worst team in every division has a shot to play every single team in their division, and if they win, they get to kick out 1 team of their choosing and replace them.
It's gonna be the Leafs.
The Leafs never make it. Never again.
Now, if they make it to say the 8th seed and they beat the 8th seed, they replace them. But if they beat the 1 seed, then they can pick any team they want and replace them.
Imagine the best team in the league, and you're just you're kicked out now.
Shouldn't have lost the gauntlet.
Should have lost to the Coyotes.
And it isn't per division. It's you get rid of East and West Conference, and you make a big standings of
It's
all
a super-
32 teams.
It's a super-
All 32 teams. For getting into the playoffs, you do it as it is right now. But then, 2 weeks, you get a 2-week break before playoffs, right? And that's when the gauntlet happens. Worst team in the league, working their way up, and we see how much they make it. Only 1 team gets this chance, so it's a strategy, You can decide, we kind of suck in the beginning of the season, and then you can go all in for the gauntlet, or you could not.
You just go home and back to back. Go sit on the couch.
Go to the golf course.
I'm just saying. They should do that.
Sure. What could go wrong?
Honestly, nothing. Quite honestly, it doesn't change. Look, who was the worst team in the league this year? Was it the Kraken?
It was the Montreal Canadiens.
The Canadiens. Do you think the Canadiens would have beaten every team in succession up to the 8th seed?
No.
No. So it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
Entertaining TV. Would it not?
I think it
It's
would
just
be.
a bunch of meaningless games that players don't want to play.
Meaningless? This is a chance to make it to the Stanley Cup playoffs. What do you mean, meaningless?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I don't think the players would be down for
I think we should take
Pardon
it.
my language, but expletive the players,
I think we should take a poll. Shane, you've got connections, yeah?
In the
Not-
NHL front office, you got a poll, right?
No.
You telling me you don't know Gary Bettman
Yes.
personally?
That's
Not his name.
his name.
That's his name?
That's his name.
Yeah, I thought I said the wrong commissioner for a second.
Who do you think you said?
I thought I said the baseball commissioner, who
Rob
is Rob
Manfred?
Manfred. Yeah, that's what I thought for a second.
Congratulations, you got it right.
That's why I
You
looked at
don't
it.
know Hockey Stanley. You don't know Stanley Cup?
He's Koopa Cup's father.
He's so disappointed in his son.
Someone was watching during that. They
Good.
dipped. They were here for a second and they left. Anyway, we've reached the top of the hour. You have been listening to the Triple Threat Show on WXJM, 88.7 FM, Harrisonburg, Virginia, and WXJM.org. My name is Jeremy Lapidus, host of this Triple Threat Show, joined as always by my two friends and co-hosts,
Shane Grizzling.
and
Hayden Raymer.
Hayden Raymer and Shane Berthland. You can also check us... Jeremy Lapidus, that's me. You can also check us out on YouTube, where we are live streaming every single show, and I will get around to posting clips, maybe. You can also check us out on Instagram at the Triple Threat Show, where Shane is doing a hockey series, and that there's other stuff on there too.
Like the phone number if you want to call in.
Yeah,
Talk to us.
which is 540. I thought I remembered it, but I didn't.
Please call.
Please call. We're lonely. We got a new follower. Look at that. Wait, no, that wasn't the Triple Threat Show. 540-568-6160. Again, 540-568-6160. Come give us your thoughts on anything. We'd appreciate it. Shane, did you have more hockey?
That was
What's the phone number again?
It's 540-568-6160.
6160.
Okay. That one was off of memory, so I wanted to make sure I got it right.
Should we test to see if it works?
Oh, I know it works. We've had a caller before.
You can actually call?
Yeah.
Did they like?
Remember when the blue light went on up there?
No, but like, did you pick up?
Yes, I did.
Like, did they say anything? Did you hear them and it worked all smooth and whatnot?
Yep.
Oh,
Huh. I don't remember.
It was last semester.
I don't remember this.
Oh,
Was I sick? Was this when I had mono?
maybe.
I don't.
I remember somebody calling and it was just silent on the other end.
Yeah, because I don't remember
Maybe
like
that's the only time
actually
we got a
getting
call.
hearing like feedback.
No, we got a call.
What did we talk about?
Talked about hockey. Do you not remember?
No, I don't remember this ever happening.
Well, call into the show anyway. 540-568-6160.
You were the first one.
First one that we will remember. Or
Yeah,
Jeremy's just going crazy.
dude, if I was going crazy, you would know.
You had a dream. Jeremy just had a dream. He's just been trying to manifest it.
It's coming. I can sense it. A call. It's on the way.
So true.
Anyway, you want to talk about some football?
No.
Okay, I guess we won't then. I won't talk about some football
You
then.
guys can.
So I'm gonna overrule you. Pick a game, Hayden.
Let's start on that Monday, Thursday.
Thursday, opening night of the NFL season, where we saw the reigning Super Bowl champion Rams face against the prospective Super Bowl champions, the Buffalo Bills. And we saw Josh Allen do Josh Allen things. And I've got a hot. I'll talk about the other thing. We'll talk about it later. You can talk about it right now if you want to.
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. I'm so confused.
The hottest QB in the NFL. You didn't think he did.
Josh Allen,
Gotcha.
hot take, is good at football. So good at football, in fact, that he can do literally anything. He can, stiff arm someone out of existence. He can, truck somebody. Oh, and by the way, he can also throw a football 80 yards downfield off 1 foot. So, he's pretty good at football. And, yeah, he's better than Matthew Stafford. I'm sorry to break it to you, Hayden.
But how many Super Bowls does Matthew Stafford
Yeah.
have compared to Josh Allen?
No rings?
Well, how many Super Bowl MVPs does Matthew Stafford have compared to Josh Allen?
But how many Super Bowl appearances does Matthew Stafford have compared to Josh Allen?
Yeah, but how many times did Matthew Stafford have to deal with the Lions compared to Josh Allen?
That
All-
was just character development.
All I'm saying, that's the...
I think the fact that he survived Detroit is a testament to Matthew Stafford's versatility.
But the real story of that game was the Rams' offensive line and how atrocious they were. How awful and how porous they were. Like, you could literally, porous, like a sponge.
Yeah, yeah.
We know what porous means.
Yeah, I know you know. I didn't think you knew, but I knew he knew. Wait, they gave up 7 sacks, right? Tied for the most in this week, by the way, which, wouldn't have expected that wouldn't be number 1. But they also gave up 15 QB hits, and you know what the Bills did? Do you want to guess how many times the Bills did a blitz? You don't have to guess. It was 0 times. It was 0 times. The Bills guessed literally 0 times. And it's pretty impressive. Who's calling?
Evan was. I don't know why he's calling me at this hour.
Is he watching? Evan, are you watching right now?
Could try to tell him to call the show.
Call the show.
Yeah.
540
I'll text him.
568 6160. Dude, I remembered this number now. I can do anything. So, yeah. The Rams' offensive line is going to be an issue, and if they can't fix that, then the Rams are going to suck this year.
But they also have to find somebody else to use besides Cooper Kupp, because it just seems like that was the only person he was throwing to the entire day.
Oh, yeah, he had 15 targets. Well, wide receiver 2, Allen Robinson, had 2 targets, one of which was just, a prayer into super coverage in the end zone at the end of the game. Yeah,
The running game was non-existent.
they'll figure that out.
Yeah.
They have to deal with an offensive line that gave up a lot of pressure. He didn't have any time in the pocket. So if that happens again next week, then we'll see if it's a bigger deal. But something I wanted... Good thing I have this handy-dandy spreadsheet open at all times.
So even the handy-dandy spreadsheet was wrong.
The Falcons, I went 500 this week.
You can't even break a tie.
You know what?
There's no ties. What do you do now? You're looking at a big dumb smelly boy.
A big dumb smelly boy. That's right.
Did you say the last 4 digits were?
6160.
It may be wrong in the story. Because I have 6106.
Wow, I can't believe you. It is 6106. I've been saying the number wrong this whole time. Oops. Anyway.
Why do I always assume whenever you correct me that you're right?
Well, because I had it written down and I've been saying it the whole time, but now that I'm looking at the...
You're saying it wrong the entire time.
Look, it's been on my notes app wrong for like 6 months.
No wonder we get air
I wanted to touch on a couple more games real quick. First one being the Vikings versus the Packers. Shane, did you have thoughts on the Vikings versus the Packers?
I love Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson is the best. I'm so glad that we drafted him and that Philadelphia decided to pick Rager over him.
Current Viking,
Yeah.
Jalen Rager. Current star punt returner, Jalen Rager. Justin Jefferson, best wide receiver in the NFL. No? You disagree?
I didn't say anything.
You did a face.
I was thinking.
You did it,
I was thinking.
except smoother
my
than that.
thinking face.
That's your thinking face.
As you can tell, I don't do a lot of thinking.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson, 158 yards. Yes. 2 touchdowns. Yes. A lot of catches. I don't remember how many. He was very, very good against a Packers team that is really, really good on defense. They have guys like Jair Alexander at corner. You know, Rasul Douglas, who had a really good season last year. That pass rush is supposed to be really good. You know? And it didn't matter. You want to know why it didn't matter? Because Justin Jefferson is elite.
And they just decided to leave him wide open on the field.
I can't even explain it.
Yeah,
There was
it's just
his second touchdown. I don't think there was a defender within 10 yards of him.
Yeah.
You could draw a 10-yard radius circle, and I don't think there'd be a single Packers defender in that area.
I was like watching on TV, and I'm just like, where are the Packers?
Yeah.
I just see a green field and no other players besides Justin Jefferson.
I don't know how he gets open, but he's really good at route running. So he's just really, really good at football. And another performance I wanted to highlight from, not from that, you know what, we'll get to that in a second. Aaron Rodgers and his receivers are out of sync. Okay? Christian Watson, second-round pick, looked bad. He dropped a touchdown on the first play the Packers had from scrimmage, and then he dropped another ball that was nearly picked off. He's completely out of sync. I'll give him another week to see if he can get on sync up with Aaron Rodgers along with Romeo Doubs. You know, it was just the Packers were out of sync all game, and I don't have an explanation for it. But we're just gonna have to wait and see if anything happens.
And if you remember last season, the Packers had an awful game 1 against the Saints. It was
Yes.
kind of very similar to how bad it was, and then Aaron Rodgers went on to have another MVP season.
Right, and that's why I'm gonna give it another week.
Yeah, so it's just like I'm not hitting the panic button yet. It's just like that's kind of like a rule of thumb for all these teams. Don't hit the panic button yet. There's still plenty of season left.
Week 1 is overreaction week.
Yeah.
Okay? So I feel comfortable in saying this. The New York Giants are winning the Super Bowl. You cannot change my mind. Saquon Barkley went for almost 200 yards. Saquon is back. Daniel Jones is MVP. Maybe. Saquon is going to win MVP plus.
It's the new streaming service.
Saquon.
For all your Saquon Barkley content.
Saquon is so good at football, and I'm so glad that he looks healthy again because...
For now.
Excuse me, Shane. Saquon Barkley is so good at football. There's nothing more I can say. The Giants, actually made good play calls. Brian Daboll, Coach of the Year. Oh my goodness. They stopped Derrick Henry? I did not expect that. They only gave him 80 yards. It's incredible. It's awesome. We love that.
Yeah. Especially when you're going against them in fantasy. That really helps. When Justin Jefferson puts up almost 40 points and then they pretty much limit Derrick Henry.
Wonderful. It's great. They went for 2 and it worked. That wouldn't have happened with any other Giants team. This one's special. 17-0 season. First one to ever go 17-0. Who's gonna tell me I'm wrong? No one.
You're wrong.
Nope, no one. I can't hear anyone saying the words "you're wrong" in that order.
You are not right.
Wait, hey Jeremy, isn't there supposed to be a key in there for the phone?
Yep.
Alright, because Evan tried calling and it didn't work.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Okay. We gotta get the key for next show then. Okay. We'll figure it out.
And maybe announce the right phone number too. That would also help, possibly.
Well, good thing the key wasn't in there.
Imagine.
Just a few other pieces of thing for the NFL. The Cowboys are dead. Dak Prescott is gone for a couple months. He had surgery on his thumb today. So he's supposed to be out until week 11 or 13.
That is brutal.
Yeah, for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
They got.
Whoever had him in fantasy.
They.
that guy.
That would really suck, wouldn't it?
That's back-to-back years where you've had a huge injury.
Well, because I also had Russell Wilson last.
I think it's a similar injury to Russell Wilson. As a thumb injury instead of like a middle finger injury or ring finger or whatever. But it's a similar injury. He had surgery today. Apparently it went well. He'll be out 6 to 8 or 10 weeks or so. So, Cowboys are done. They've got Cooper Rush as their starter, who, went 1-0 last year. So he's fine.
If only there was a highly competent backup.
Highly competent is high praise. If only there was a backup that was a James Madison University alum, and famously Italian, that they could scoop up and put on their practice squad.
Not the other time. Jimmy Garoppolo, like I was rumored to get traded all season, and then
Nah,
yeah.
Ben DiNucci.
The better Italian quarterback.
He has a no trade clause, so it'd take some work, but maybe. Also, I don't think the Niners want to do that right now because
Yeah, Trey Lance has
Trey Lance, yeah, and they want to. He's the ultimate safety blanket, is what they called him. So I don't think they're gonna get rid of him. Yeah, T.J. Watt, another injury. He's supposed. So right now they're saying it's looking like he doesn't need surgery. If he needed surgery, he'd be done for the season. But if he doesn't need surgery, he'll only be out 6 weeks, which is still a lot. He's the reigning defensive player of the year. He is very, very good at football. I can't stress enough that these guys we're talking about are very, very good at football.
Watt brother.
Oh, no.
Wasn't he also injured too?
He was, but it's not as bad, I don't think. Yeah. So.
They just can't seem to stay healthy.
No, it's hard to stay healthy when you get hit like 60 times at like 20 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Every week.
And it's just like, you want to see the best players compete, and it just sucks that the injuries keep on happening to, the reigning defensive player do it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find this stuff. Who's the team that plays all the bird teams?
Oh, yes. That is the Saints. The Saints. They notched one in the belt of the Bird Gauntlet. They beat the Falcons. Now, they had 2 chances to beat the Falcons, but 1 down, I believe 5 to go. I think.
Eagles, Cardinals, Falcons.
They've got the Seahawks. They've got the Cardinals. They've got the Ravens. They've got the Eagles. Yes. 4 more teams to go. Will they do it?
Wouldn't they be the first to ever do it?
First team to ever complete the Bird Gauntlet, yes. That's what it's called.
Such a great name.
Speaking of confidence,
Oh, God, no.
boy, do I have an idea for you. Let me tell you. Alright. So there's this thing called hockey, right? And so what you're going to do is you're going to put the worst team, and they're going to progressively play harder and harder. The fitness gram pacing test. It's like that, but hockey.
What a great idea.
Thank you.
Phenomenal idea, Simmons.
What can I say? I'm the idea guy.
Full of good ideas.
Just shoot him out. Love my brain. My noggin.
Do you have any more football you wanted to talk about?
Nothing really stood out to me than that.
Other than the Seahawks fumbled it 30 times tonight.
These are Broncos. Broncos.
They caused the fumble today.
Yeah, the Broncos fumbled it at the goal line twice, and they lost by 1. It was a real shame. They almost hit a game-winning 64-yard field goal. They didn't, though.
Yeah, so, both the revenge games
did not go well.
Did not go well.
No.
What was the one?
Baker
Mayfield
versus the
going
Browns.
Yeah.
He almost won that game, too. He lost on a game-winning field goal. He looked so bad in the first half. So bad. Dude, he could not...
No, he's a dump.
He's a what?
His contract is broken.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he gave them, what was it, a conditional fourth is all he got?
Yeah. But, I mean, Baker is still supposedly a competent quarterback.
There's still plenty of season left.
You don't give up a conditional fourth for a competent quarterback.
No, you do if it's the Browns, the way the Browns handled it. You do. The Browns had absolutely zero leverage, okay? Baker wasn't going to play for them, because of everything they did. And other teams were like, okay, we'll just wait until you give us an offer that we'll take, because there's no reason for us to give you anything of value for him right now. Because, the Browns didn't want to have $20 million against their cap.
No, they just wanted $50 million against the cap.
What you gotta do? What you gotta do?
Poverty.
It's true. It's what they are. Anyway, Hayden.
Jeremy.
It's time for my favorite. I can't emphasize this enough. My favorite segment of the week. It's called Hayden's Question of the Week. And I'm just wondering, Hayden, do you have a question for us?
I do. Now,
feel free to answer the question in the comments to Evan, I presume.
now, I am stealing this from him. So I would like to give this person credit. It's a fun talk about sports. Hip hop, something like that. And I'm changing it a little bit for Shane and the rest of Evan. Jeremy, I was keeping it the same for you.
Oh. Double question of the week? Oh, I'm in heaven right now.
Yeah. So, question is, you and 4 of your friends can each win $100 million. But you guys need to score 100 points on 100 5-year-olds before they score 6 points in a regular basketball game.
Easy.
If you guys fail, you will each have to attend every, this is for Jeremy, Oakland Athletics game for 5 years.
Bet.
Shane, you have to attend every Arizona Coyote. Actually, swap it.
Yeah. I would assume.
You have to attend every Arizona Coyotes game for the next 5 years. You have to attend every Oakland Athletics game for the next 5 years. Are you accepting the deal?
Absolutely, I am.
So it's how many 5-year-olds?
100.
How many monies?
100 million.
Yes.
Is it like street rules?
It's a regular basketball game.
Yes, absolutely.
Because like if it's street rules, then I'm just trucking over 5-year-olds and laying it up and.
There's no regular basketball.
Yeah.
You have to dribble. There's no traveling.
Well, then the 5-year-olds are in huge trouble. Look,
there's 100 of them.
I have never seen a 5-year-old play basketball. I've never
These
seen
are all the greatest athletes.
These
are the ones I've made in my lab. Okay.
Look, I've had to watch 25-year-olds for like 5 summers in a row. Mm-hmm. I know what they can do on a basketball court.
Imagine 100 of them.
They do not know how to dribble a basketball.
Okay, and?
What do you mean, and?
And? The rules only apply to you. Alright? The 5-year-olds, they can do whatever they want.
I feel like you're taking the regular basketball game out of this.
It. They don't even have the strength.
Yeah, they can't shoot it 10 feet in the air.
Yeah.
They only have to score 6 points.
Yes, they do.
There's no way they can reach it.
A couple of them can.
But
But by the time they get down there, because
there's 100 of them, Jeremy. You can crawl through all that. I
can run through all that.
I think. Am I picturing a basketball court in 5-year-olds?
Look, there would be no space to move. Yeah. There would be no space to move.
Yeah, I'm making sure I'm having this correctly. Because I'm picturing 105-year-olds. There's like no room.
There wouldn't be enough space for 105-year-olds. There might be enough space for 50.
No, there's 100.
Okay.
They're on his other shoulders. They're on your shoulders.
Probably.
Look, I could deal with that. I'm taking that. Easy. Look, they're not getting the ball past half court.
Alright, now Jeremy. New problem. 100 raccoons.
Oh.
They can't dribble either. And you know, raccoons can definitely not shoot a ball 10 feet in the air.
They will fight you to it.
Oh, and I'd lose. But you know what? They would never complete their end of the bargain either.
If he lived to tell the tale.
He would have to
$100
go
million.
to 5 seasons of Arizona Coyotes games.
No, if I lived, I would, get $100 million. If I lived.
If you will. It's a big if.
It is a big if.
Sam, would you take that?
Yeah.
5 years of baseball games. Like, terrible baseball games.
Aren't they relocating?
Maybe. You don't think they're moving to Vegas?
No, they're going to care. Oakland's going to care. I hate that they are.
No, they're not.
They are.
Oakland didn't cave for the Raiders.
They're gonna care.
Oakland didn't cave for the Raiders.
They already have to.
Oakland didn't cave for the Warriors. Oakland caved for the Warriors when they were the Warriors. Oakland did not cave
It's just like
for the Raiders when, it's the Raiders. Not that they were very good then, but it's still the Raiders. It's a football team. What makes you think they're going to cave for the A's? They haven't built them a new stadium in 80 years. 50 years. I was exaggerating, but I think 50 is accurate.
Oldest my high school.
It's ridiculous. Oakland is not going to cave.
They already started to.
What do they do?
They've already, it's, the last thing is kind of like the budgetary meeting.
Right, that's where it always falls through. Every single time.
But it's gone a lot farther than I thought it would be already.
How long is their contract at the Coliseum for? Another year?
I don't know.
It's coming up soon.
And after that, it's MLB expansion.
They're not going back to Oakland. No. The A's, you might as well call them the Las Vegas A's. Go join the other teams. They're done. They're out of there.
For the sake of baseball, they have to get out of there.
I don't think it'd be that big of a difference, honestly. Actually, you know what? I lied. It would be a huge difference.
Maybe people in Vegas would actually show up to this.
Vegas would absolutely show up to games. If only because they would all have money on it.
Hence, MLB should do that.
Yes. Who says no? Nobody says no.
I do.
I think you're wrong.
I've been wrong before.
And so all of
Psh, nah. Name one time that I've been wrong, and don't say the other time, and don't say the phone number, and don't say that other thing, and don't say.
Just don't mention any time I was wrong.
What
Jeremy, when was our article for our intro to sports communication due?
5 o'clock.
When did he say it was due?
And don't mention that time. And don't mention any of the times that I was wrong, and tell me when I was wrong. That's all I'm saying. You can't. You can't.
You said I was the imposter among us.
I was right, wasn't I?
I was a crewmate. I was not sus. What are you guys looking most forward? Words. Word. What are you guys looking forward to most in this next week?
Football.
The Vikings playing again. Until it's not. Because they're just eventually going to let me down.
What? You have a better answer? You don't. There's no better answer.
How's baseball?
They already happened.
It's
still going.
It's still going.
Nope.
He did this hour and a half long, and we were here, and he was back at the apartment.
Speaking of our hour and a half, it has officially come to a close. Thank you so much for listening and watching the Triple Threat Show on WXJM, 88.7 FM Harrisonburg, Virginia, and WXJM.org. Also on the YouTube at the Triple Threat Show. Check us out on Instagram at the Triple Threat Show. Check us out on TikTok at the Triple Threat Show.
There's nothing on there.
There's nothing on there, but check us out anyway. I have been your host, Jeremy Lapidus, joined as always by my two friends,
Shane Brisland
and
Hayden Raymer.
thank you so much for listening. Good night.